No, it's not about gender at all. We all have that energy, and it's more about stable energy, more calm. Knowing that each thing has a time. I mean, like if a woman is in power and she doesn't have her energies balanced, then we are probably going to have the same outcome. We are leaning more into the feminine because we are more like considered, compassionate, empathetic.
Hi everyone, I'm Camilo Torres, and welcome again to Flow Community Podcast. In here, we're going to have great conversation with the amazing people that has joined our community. We're going to get a lot of inspiration from their life journeys, creations, passions, because we believe that when you share your unique story, you can inspire others. So please enjoy this new episode. And also, I would love to invite you to join our community. And if you want to be part of this podcast, please go to our website, flowwithcommunity.com. Thank you. So please welcome Paula Bosco. Hi, Paula.
Camilo. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much.
Pleasure to be here again.
Yes, second time.
Second time.
This is lovely, and it's very, very. I'm very happy to do this podcast because it's a topic that is very in me, and since the start of Flow, I went to a journey to look for creativity and what was the meaning of creativity. And I explore creativity from three angles: from spirituality, from history, from scientific.
Okay.
But then when I went into the spirituality part, I went through like human beings. We have two type of energies: feminine energy and masculine energy, and I'm very excited to do this podcast because I feel like this topic for me is been very strong because it has also healed a lot of trauma when I was a kid. But yeah, let's talk about this one.
Amazing. I am so passionate about this topic because it also touches me very much. I connect with you in that sense. I think that throughout my healing journey, my spiritual journey, it's been something that I didn't know much about feminine energy, masculine energy, how to use both correctly. And the more I got into the topic, it's like it has so many ramifications, and you can apply that to every single area of life. So yeah, I'm so excited. It's just like something that I would love, like talking and talking and talking. It's like endless possibilities.
Nice.
So I'm going to talk from my personal experience. So I first learned about feminine and masculine energy because when I went through a very rough period of my life, and I was trying to find answers and to be happy. And then I started like looking for help for people like to help me understand and what my purpose was and why I was like repeating all these things in life. And then that point was where tarot got into my life. I'm also a tarot reader.
Okay.
You do know.
Okay, interesting.
I learned how to read the tarot. I've always been interested in that kind of esoteric realms. And so yes, I was just looking for help, and then I came across this tarot reader. She's my tarot reader until now, and she used this tarot in a way where it's a tool for like self knowledge and self development. And she introduced me to the female and male principle, and that for me was like a life-changing moment because that so many things made sense. And then I was able to understand why, all these things were happening in my life, or I was unconsciously creating those things because I was not like either using my feminine energy correctly, or I was not using my masculine energy correctly. And then you start learning like how those energies get affected by your trauma experiences in life, in childhood. Usually, there's a healthy feminine and a healthy masculine. And when those two kind of components are not healed, it's because we have some wounds either with our mother or with our father, because that's where everything comes from. So yeah, on the feminine side of things, it's your mom and how you mother yourself and how you nurture yourself. It's also related to beauty and playfulness and this kind of flowing state in life. Creativity.
Correct.
It's very light, nurturing, calming. Like enjoying moments of silence and rest and recovery. It's more like inwards. And then masculine energy is the opposite, which is like, how do you take care of yourself, but in a different way, like setting boundaries, having, this ability to go for the things you want, and planning, organizing things. It's a more active energy. It's more towards the outside world instead of inside. So this is how we project ourselves to the outside world. It's how we go about life. And yes, so when you understand like how these two work well together, and also the role of the masculine is to provide that kind of structure for the feminine to be free and to create and to make your wishes come to life. Women no, but men and women, we have desires, which is our feminine side, and then the masculine comes into play to, how do I make this happen? And that's how it links with creativity.
Nice. Yeah, in my research, and I completely agree with you. In one of my research, and it's so weird because this morning, one of my very good friends sent me a post, an article about yin and yang in terms of creativity, like related with creativity, and it says, well, the yin is the feminine energy and the yang is the masculine energy. But then anyway, in the article, in part of the article, it refers as well like a swimming pool. The feminine energy, it's the water, which it flows and is very free, but the water needs a container, and the container, it's the masculine energy. And without one or the other, the pool won't exist. So it's very interesting, and it relates with everything in life, I think. And no matter what gender you are.
No, it's not about gender at all. We all have that energy, and that's something that I've learned. Well, I mean, it's something that I think at some point we know, but we are not conscious that we know that. Because if you have this ability to observe, to contemplate, everything in life has masculine and feminine energies. That's the life force. That's what brings things to life. But what I wanted to add to what you said about the pool and the water, and coming back to what I was saying about tarot, in tarot, each suit of the deck has an element, right? and it's two suits which are feminine and two suits which are masculine.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So swords and wands are masculine. They have this phallic. If you look at the cards, you will notice. And then we have the cups and the pentacles or the coins, which are the feminine. And it's so interesting because each one has their own sides. So the masculine has two sides and the feminine has two sides. And this is something that I've learned as well. So in the masculine, we have the masculine that it's more goes to action, right?
Right. Yes.
It's action, is movement, is
it's a structure. It's A to B.
Impulsiveness, and it has the characteristics of the element fire.
Okay.
So it's very like it switches on. It's very passionate and very like I'm gonna go there and get it. The go-getter. But then we have the swords, which is the mind and our thoughts, and that's the masculine characteristic. So it's the action and it's the mind. Our thoughts, how we think, how we plan, our perception about ourselves, ideas, communication, the words.
Being reasonable, like having
exactly
mind, like how can I say? So sorry, go ahead on
yeah, so and that actually is linked to the element air.
Okay, interesting.
Right? So it's air and it's fire, and those two are the masculine principles. So it's logic,
explanation,
calculations, always, more cold. There's no emotion. It's more actions and thinking. And then on the female side, we have the cups, which are these containers of water, which represent our emotions. And that's linked to water. That's why like water links to our emotions, but also to our imagination, fantasy world, and the world of the dreams, and of course like relationships with each other. And then we have the coins or the pentacles, and those are linked to the earth, which is nurturing the time of things, the cycle of life, how things like
the creation,
it's more about stable energy, more calm, knowing that each thing has a time, respecting that time, is connected to nature, nurturing. It has this kind of motherly vibe. So that was like, wow, I'm so passionate about all this, because then you learn, like, when you lean into the feminine side, you know which principles or characteristics you can use and how to use them.
Yeah, and what you said about like the creation, I mean, it's basic, but creation equals creativity.
Absolutely.
Which, what you said, like to create something, it needs to be respecting the cycle, needs to be calm, needs to be let it flow.
Yes.
And respecting that the time when an idea, in my research, it compares like with an idea and develop the idea. The idea comes from that, from respecting our feminine energy, and when we respect that, the idea can start in showing up, and then the masculine energy is like the one that develops the idea. Wow, interesting.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And then how our relationship with our father or with our mother is like how we embody those two energies.
Right. And I feel like, yeah, yes, 100%. And I
Yeah.
feel like depending of your mom and your family and your surrounders, how they respect the masculine and feminine energy, then you will respect it as well. From my side, I mean, I come from Colombia, a very macho culture.
I totally
and
understand. I'm
you're
Argentinian, so
Argentinian.
I feel you. Yeah.
So we come from like a very traditional, masculine, patriarchal system, which and then also I guess in my generation, I'm from the '86. Anyway, when I was growing up, it was more about the men alpha, and all those, well, yeah, patriarchal system that for me as the trauma that I was saying, it's when I was discovering myself, my identity, being gay, etc. I was forced to know accepting that.
Yeah.
When I was little kid,
Yeah.
and then anyway, it was all to do. You need to be prepared. Need to be from A to B. You cannot just go and rest. It's just go, 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 do, and now, like, from all this journey, and this research, and anyway, life gave me the opportunity to start knowing this amazing topic.
Yeah.
And I related because, like, anyway, I need to go more deep into my trauma, but now my whole life I've been repressing my feminine energy, and knowing this topic, now it's making me like making it embrace it a lot, and know, and of course respecting my masculine energy that I love as well, but it's like living in a harmony with both energies, with everything I do. Flow, it's one of these that I've been letting my feminine energy, respecting that, also my masculine energy, respecting it. Yeah, and I think it's part like this topic I'm very passionate about it because it makes me, it's like a trauma healer. And yeah, and anyway, it's a journey, I guess.
Yeah, what is so interesting is, we are now living in this particular moment where the feminist movement is so strong, and it's trying to just validate women and the feminine, and to fight this patriarchal paradigm that we have all bought in.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's been quite bad for society at all levels. So I think there is a change, which hopefully we can see in the world, of a world where women are leaders, and I feel like leaderships, male leaderships are so competitive. They have this kind of drive for power and destruction, and it's actually a toxic masculine in a sense, because if it's a healthy masculine, the healthy masculine will take care of the feminine. And all we are seeing is how countries and governments led by men in majority are having this approach of like extractive relationships with nature, and everything is just like something that they can make use of, but not restoring or giving back or having this kind of care.
I have a question because
Yeah.
I mean, I watched TikTok from this. I don't have it in my head here who she is, but she talks about feminine and masculine energy and leadership.
Yeah.
And it was interesting, and it was interesting because she said that it's not about the who is what gender is on the leadership. It's about who if someone is in the leadership,
Yeah.
how respectful is with their energies.
Absolutely.
Because she and anyway, we know that there is a lot of female women in leadership
Yes.
that they have extreme masculine energy that it's like, hey, and
it's the same.
It's becoming
yeah.
hey, you're in a patriarchal world, but then the gender is
Yeah, I feel like I should have clarified. I mean, yes, it's mainly led by men, but
Correct,
this
yes.
doesn't mean like if a woman is in power and she doesn't have her energies balanced, then we are probably gonna have the same outcome. You know, I think it's more about, yes, acknowledging how, how can I use those principles in the best way possible, whether I'm a man, a woman, or any other human being on earth. But yeah, I feel like now, whenever there's a main culture, there's always going to be this kind of new culture that will kind of come up to compensate. So we are now seeing like, oh, we became slaves of our phones and technology, but then there's so many people now just going back to the essence, like, growing their own food and, listen to vinyls instead of like music digitally. And I think that's something that it's slowly returning back. And it's also connected to, slowing down a bit, leaning to that feminine calm energy where we just, have our time for recovery and pleasure and slowing down and resting. So yes, I think that new generations are going to be hopefully better at that, because with all the environmental crisis, people are getting more conscious about the earth, but that also means that we are leaning more into the feminine because we are more like considered, compassionate, empathetic, and that's all like female principles.
100%. I feel like, I mean, we need to, like, what I'm doing, I guess, is what I'm trying to do is just be in harmony with both energies. Because if you end up just elevating too much one, then it won't work, right? It's just
everything is a balance.
It's a balance, a harmony, and yeah, I mean, with everything, we were talking before this podcast about flow and our projects, and like one of these example and flow, it's been a result of let it my feminine energy go and be elevated on the point to give me the ideas and receiving like in a rest and let it flow. Flow. I feel like flow is the feminine energy, and the to do. It's when it starts to make this happen, structure this project, blah blah blah, which is important as well because let it flow, and if you continue flowing, then But interesting.
It's such an interesting topic, and it has so many layers that we can be like discussing for ages.
Thank you so much. This topic, it's like we can continue talking and having more podcasts about this. I feel like tell the world about this. It's important.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, myself has helped me out a lot in everything that I do in life. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed. It's a topic that I'm so passionate about. So happy to talk more on the next episode.
Yes. And thank you so much, guys, for your time. And yeah, also inviting you to join the community. And if you want to be part of this podcast, please go to flowwithcommunity.com. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.